Welcome to Love Lessons for Men. We spin a lot of yarns here about the surface game attraction, the cut of your jib, the words you string together. But beneath that thin ice, there's a current, a deeper water, that most men skim right over. It's an old craving, more primal than any fleeting charm or a well-turned phrase, more fundamental than the lines on a face safety, the kind that settles in the bones, not just the eyes. We talk a lot about attraction, confidence, and communication. But there's one underrated ingredient that women crave more than charm or look safety. In this video, I'll show you how just one word can instantly make a woman feel emotionally safe, respected, and connected to you, and how to use it effectively. Let's break it down. This isn't about manipulation, some trick of the light. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth of human connection, a truth that, once understood, changes the entire landscape of your interactions. You see, the world's a hungry place, always nipping at the heels. People walk around braced for the next hit, the next disappointment. If you can offer a space, however small, where that tension can ease, where someone can exhale without looking over their shoulder, well, that's a rare thing. That's the bedrock. We're gonna peel back the layers on that today, find the nerve that makes it all tick. Chapter 1. Why safety is the first lock to pick. Before the spark, before the dance, before any of that pretty filigree we call chemistry or love can even begin to take root, there's a gate. And that gate's guarded by a need older than language itself. A woman, any human really, needs to feel safe. Not just the kind of safety that means you won't raise a hand, though that's the bare minimum, the dirt floor. I'm talking about a safety that permeates every layer of her being, emotional, mental, the way she stands in the world when you're around. This ain't about being a bodyguard, it's about being a harbor. You see, safety, in this context, it's just another word for trust. And trust, well, that's the currency of all genuine connection. If she can't trust you, if there's a flicker of doubt about your intentions, your consistency, your respect for her inner world, then she's always going to be on guard. Her true self stays locked down, deep inside, because exposure without trust is just vulnerability waiting for a wound. It's a primal instinct, that self-preservation. You can't charm your way past it. Not for long. Think of it like this. If a woman's constantly running calculations in her head, trying to figure out your angle, deciphering your mixed signals, wondering if you see her or just a reflection of your own desires, she's not present. She's in a state of low-grade vigilance. Her energy is spent on defense, not on connection. She'll never truly show you the intricate, sometimes messy, but ultimately real landscape of who she is. Chapter 2. Echoes in the Emotional Chamber. Words. Just vibrations in the air, ink on a page, or so the naive might think. But words are architects of reality, little emotional charges that detonate in the mind. They're not neutral. They carry history, intention, a payload of feeling. Some words land like a blow, triggering a cascade of anxiety, a tightening in the chest. Think about phrases like calm down when someone's upset, or the classic you're overreacting. These aren't just dismissive, they're invalidating. They tell a person their internal reality is wrong, that their feelings are a nuisance. These kinds of words, they're like throwing static into a clear signal. They create noise, confusion, resentment. They shut down communication because they attack the speaker's very experience of the world. When you tell someone they're too sensitive or that they shouldn't feel that way, you're essentially telling them they're broken, that their internal compass is faulty. And who wants to open up to someone who sees them as defective? It's a fast track to emotional isolation, not connection. On the other side of that coin, there are words that build bridges. Words that act like a balm, a reassurance. Simple things often. I understand. I hear you, I got you. These aren't about agreeing with every point or solving every problem. They're about acknowledging the other person's reality, validating their emotional state. They say, "Your experience is real to me, and I'm willing to sit with it, even if I don't fully grasp it yet." That's a powerful offering in a world that often demands conformity of feeling. The key, then, is choosing words that validate her experience, not dismiss it. Chapter 3. Unlocking instantaneous safety. So, we've established that safety is the ground floor, the non-negotiable. And we know words carry the weight of worlds, capable of building or demolishing that safety. Now, what if I told you there's one word, a deceptively simple arrangement of letters that can act like a master key, unlocking a sense of emotional safety almost instantaneously? A word that, when used with genuine intent, signals respect, awareness, and a fundamental understanding of her autonomy. It's not a magic spell, but it's damn close in its effect. The word is permission. Just that. Permission. It sounds almost too basic, doesn't it? Like something you'd teach a child. But in the complex, often fraught dance between men and women, this word carries an extraordinary power. It's a quiet powerhouse. Because what it communicates, on a subconscious level, is that you see her not as an object to be acted upon, but as a sovereign individual with her own boundaries, her own desires, her own internal landscape that you are willing to respect. Using this word, or the sentiment behind it, fundamentally shifts the dynamic. It shows that you're not operating from a place of assumption or entitlement. You're not trying to pressure her, to nudge her, to subtly coerce her into a space she's not ready for. Instead, you're acknowledging her agency. You're explicitly stating that she is in control of her choices, her comfort, her body, her time, especially when it involves you. This is a radical departure from the often unspoken pressures many women feel. Think about the usual script. Chapter 4. Weaving permission into the fabric of conversation. Alright, so we've identified the word permission. But a word is just a tool. Its power lies in the application. How do you actually weave this concept, this respect for autonomy, into the natural flow of conversation without sounding like you're reading from a legal document? It's about the spirit of the thing, not just the letter. It's about shifting from a mindset of assumption or demand to one of inquiry and respect. It's more art than science, but there are patterns. Instead of assuming she's free or that she wants to talk at a specific time, you might say, "Would it be okay if I called you later tonight, say around 8? That little phrase, "would it be okay if I..." That's permission in action. It gives her an easy out. It respects her time and her agency. It's not, "I'll call you at 8. See the difference? One is a statement of intent that presumes her availability and willingness. The other is a request that honors her ability to choose. Or consider a more personal topic. Maybe you're curious about something she mentioned, something that seems a bit sensitive. Instead of just barging in with questions, you could preface it with, "You mentioned X earlier, and it got me thinking, do you feel comfortable talking a bit more about that?" No pressure at all if not. That, "do you feel comfortable?" is crucial. It signals that you're aware of potential boundaries and that her comfort level is your primary concern, not your curiosity. And then there's physical touch, an area where assumptions can be particularly damaging. Even something as seemingly innocuous as a hug. Instead of just going for it, especially early on, you could ask, "I'm a hugger, but I always like to check, can I give you a hug?" Or, "Would you be comfortable with a hug goodbye?" It might feel a little formal at first, but the reassurance it provides far outweighs any momentary awkwardness. It communicates that you're not going to cross her physical boundaries without explicit consent. These might seem like small things, almost trivial. Chapter 5. What happens when she truly feels safe? So you've laid the groundwork. You've used your words with care, you've consistently signaled respect for her autonomy, you've made permission a cornerstone of your interaction. What happens next? What's the payoff, if you want to call it that, for this kind of conscious effort? Well, it's not about a payoff in the transactional sense. It's about witnessing a genuine human unfolding. When a woman feels truly, deeply safe with you, her entire demeanor can transform. Her guard drops. You'll notice it in the way she speaks. The conversations deepen. She'll start to share more openly, not just the curated public-facing version of herself, but the more vulnerable, nuanced parts, the fears, the dreams, the quirky observations, the unpolished thoughts. This isn't because you've cleverly extracted them. It's because the environment you've co-created feels secure enough to hold them. She feels understood, valued for who she is, not for who you might want her to be. Then there's the shift in initiative. A woman who feels safe and respected is more likely to initiate contact, to suggest plans, to actively seek out your company. Why? Because the interaction isn't a source of anxiety or a game she has to constantly strategize. It's a source of comfort, of genuine connection. She's not worried about being pressured or misread or taken for granted. She's free to express her interest, if it's there, without fear of it being exploited. Chapter 6. The Universal Resonance of Permission. Now, it's easy to frame this concept of permission and the safety it engenders solely within the context of dating, of romantic pursuit. And sure, it's a game changer there. But the echoes of this one word, this one principle, they travel much further. Its impact isn't confined to the delicate dance of early romance. It's a fundamental tenet of healthy human interaction, capable of transforming relationships in all areas of your life. It's a universal solvent for unnecessary friction. Think about your friendships. How many misunderstandings, how many unspoken resentments could be avoided if there was a clearer, more consistent respect for individual boundaries and preferences? Asking a friend, "Hey, are you up for talking about this heavy stuff right now? Or would you rather keep it light?" That's permission. That's respect. It builds stronger, more resilient friendships because it acknowledges that even our closest friends have their own capacities and limits. Consider your professional life, your partnerships, even collaborations. When you approach a colleague with, "I have an idea I'd like to run by you. Do you have the bandwidth for that this afternoon?" You're not just being polite. You're respecting their time, their focus, their autonomy. This approach turns potential pressure into an invitation for collaboration. It fosters an environment where people feel valued and heard, not just like cogs in a machine. It shows leadership through empathy, not authority. And then there's family. The dynamics there can be the most entrenched, the most complicated. But even here, the principle of permission can introduce a breath of fresh air. Instead of assuming your family members are available for your needs, or that they share your opinions, or that they're comfortable with certain topics or actions, asking, clarifying, respecting their no can slowly begin to shift those ingrained patterns. Chapter 7. The Echo of Respect. So there you have it. Permission. Not just a word, but a philosophy. A way of moving through the world that acknowledges the sanctity of another's space, another's choice. It's the quiet acknowledgement that true connection isn't about conquest, but about co-creation. It's about understanding that the strongest bonds are forged in the fires of mutual respect, where safety isn't just a prerequisite, but an ongoing commitment. This isn't about diminishing your own presence, but about magnifying the comfort and agency of those you interact with. This path, the one of conscious communication and respect for autonomy, it might seem less direct than the old, worn trails of assumption and pressure, but it leads to a different kind of destination, one built on genuine trust and authentic connection, the kind that lasts, the kind that matters. It's the difference between a fleeting spark and a steady flame. Remember, the way you make someone feel, especially in terms of their emotional safety, will echo far longer than any clever line or grand gesture. If you found this video helpful, if these ideas resonated somewhere in that intricate machinery of your own understanding, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who might benefit from this perspective, another man navigating these same waters. And don't forget to subscribe to Love Lessons for Men for more insights and tips designed to help you succeed, not just in dating, but in building connections that are real and lasting. Thanks for watching until the end, for sticking with these thoughts. I'll see you in the next video.